Hello Black Eagles, I have a very special video for you today. Today I will be unboxing a package I got in the mail today from matchwornShirts.com. You may or may not be aware of the fact that Beşiktaş have been selling their shirts, their match-worn shirts on matchwornShirts.com, usually only for special moments, so like the cup final last season, the Super Cup, those shirts got sold. Momentous games like derby victories over the last couple of years. The club have been doing it. They even dabbled in selling the shirts on their own website for a while, but I think that kind of turned out to be a little bit of a fiasco. After the derby win against Fenerbahce in Kadıköy, where Redmond gave 3 assists. So before that, they did some collaborations with match-worn shirts, and then I think Ahmet Nuhçebi and company decided to let's cash in on this ourselves, and then they did it on the website once. I actually tried to bid on shirts, but it was such a fiasco. You had to put money on it, and then you could only bid, and then the money, if you would outbid, the money would come back, and it was a terrible fiasco. So they dabbled in it themselves, but they've gone back to matchwornshirts.com. So like I said, the cup final games against Trabzonspor, those shirts were sold. The Super Cup shirts were sold, and the Ciro Immobile one actually from the cup went for almost actually including costs, for over 8,000 euros. And I've noticed that the guy who bought that is trying to sell that shirt on eBay right now for $50,000. So if you want Ciro Immobile shirt from the Super Cup, you can go try and buy that on eBay for a significantly marked up price. But it actually sold on matchwornshirts.com for 7,300. But what match-worn shorts do, they actually take 10%. So that 7,300 goes entirely to the club. But then afterwards you bid. So let's say you bid 7,300. You have to pay an additional 10% on top of that. So whoever bought that shirt will have had to pay 8,000 euros for Ciro Immobile's shirt from the Super Cup. Well, I've myself have been following these shirts. As you know, I am an avid shirt collector. And I figured the Ajax game, these shirts were up. I didn't think they were gonna be, obviously, because of the result of that match. But it seems like, at least so far, Beşiktaş are putting all the Europa League shirts up for sale. And I understand that, because these Europa League shirts are unique. They aren't shirts you can buy in the store. They are European versions of the shirts. They don't have the sponsor on the back. They don't have the sponsors on the sleeves. So that's pretty cool. I've always been a collector of mainly European shirts. I like them because of that, because the name is also above the number and all that kind of stuff. And I just think that's cooler. So that's why the majority of my collection consists out of European player issue or player worn shirts. But of course, back in the day, there was no matchwornshirts.com, so you had to find them through people you knew or whatever. Nowadays, the club is selling them straight on matchwornshirt.com, and I think that's actually pretty cool. It gives a lot of people access, people who usually wouldn't have that access. I think that's very cool. It gives people an opportunity to own a piece of history. In this particular case, not necessarily a great part of history, but still a part of history. And I figured, there's no way in hell I can afford a Ciro Immobile shirt if we just beat Galatasaray 5-0. I can't pay. I am a huge fan of collecting shirts, but paying 8,000 euro for a shirt, I just can't. I'm not that rich. Like many of you, I think, justifying paying that type of money for a shirt is a lot. However, the shirts in the store right now, if you want to get a name printed on the back, you're paying 110 euros. So what's 100 or 200 euro more for a shirt that was actually worn and signed on top of that? These shirts aren't only worn, they're also signed. And that's where I thought I saw an opportunity. The game against Ajax, people aren't going to bid crazy money. They didn't. And I managed to get both Ciro and Rafa's shirt both match worn, both signed. So let me take you to the first one. I did the unboxing earlier today, actually, but let's have a look here at the unboxing of the shirts. So I did the Rafa one first, as you can see here. Beautiful box from MatchWornShirts, and here this is actually, in this is the certificate of authenticity for the shirt. There's a congratulations letter for winning the shirt, of course. And then there's a little bit of a protective foil they put over it to protect the shirt, of course. Still looking at that letter. And let's open this foil here. Let's have a look. There's the gorgeous shirt. And of course, you know, it's the black shirt. It's my favorite shirt. I've already said it many times. I love this shirt. I think it's amazing. It's one of my all-time favorites already. Here's the name on the back, as you can see. And I'm filming this with one hand, so, you know, I don't have a great setup for it or anything. But as you can see, there it is. Rafa's shirt, number 27. He signed it in the number 7. And then there is a little bit of a close-up of the name. That's cool. And it all, of course, it has the European patch as well on the sleeve, as you can expect. And yeah, I think that's just really cool. I'm a huge fan of match-worn shirts. Like I said, I love the European jerseys. And that's just mainly, I think they're a little unique. They're not something that everyone has. I mean, I know very few people who do actually. The majority of my collection are European shirts. I don't even, you know, I started off this in like 2015 or so. I started really going after player issue shirts, player worn shirts if I could. I have a couple of really nice gems. I have a UEFA Cup shirt from Sergen from back in 2004. I have a 2002, 2003 UEFA Cup shirt from Sergen. I have a Champions League shirt from 2003-2004 from Dumer. I have Ahmed Hassan UEFA Cup shirt from a year or two later. So I have some really cool UEFA shirts from the early days. I have a lot of Champions League shirts. I actually have a Champions League shirt of every single campaign except for the 1998 one, and I don't think I have one from the 2001 campaign either. But so I have from every subsequent Champions League campaign, I have at least one shirt, and yeah, that's just what I like. I think that's cool. So let's have a look now at the Ciro Immobile one, because I already got that picture up here, of course. Let's have a look at that unboxing. Same box, of course, the MatchWornShirts box. Here's the the certificate of authenticity again, the congratulations letter, as you can see, the protective foil or paper or whatever you want to call that, and then the gorgeous shirt. And yeah, it's not a great game to remember, but it's still a match-worn shirt. It's still signed. You can see a little bit of clutter there in the background on the table. I had to make a little bit of space. And then yeah, the number 17, signed in the number 7 again, Immobile. And you know what? I didn't film the patches on the sleeves, but trust me, they're there. So yeah, I just wanted to show this to you guys. I think this is a great opportunity. This video is by no means sponsored by MatchWornShirts. I still think it's a lot of money. Even if you buy a shirt for like 200-300, like you get the 10% on top of that. And on top of that, you get shipping. Shipping wasn't too bad, actually. You know, I bought this. It gets shipped from Istanbul, but it gets sent to their warehouse in Amsterdam, and then it gets shipped to you. So you don't have to worry about import duties, which is really cool. That only counts for those of you in the European Union, by the way. These shirts will always be shipped from Amsterdam, and if I'm not mistaken, so if you live like in the US or in Australia or whatever, it's possible you could get import duties. But I know from Sinan that he orders a lot of stuff now from cartaljuvas.eu, and he orders like pretty big, he puts in pretty big orders, and he hasn't had to pay anything yet so far. So the possibility is there, but I know in Belgium here, they're super strict with import duty, so I was a little bit afraid of, I wasn't gonna do this, but then I read their fine print and I saw, oh, they ship it from Amsterdam, so I don't have to worry about that. Because otherwise, you know, you buy a shirt for I don't know, like 200 or whatever, and then you have to pay on top of that like another 21% to the taxes and stuff like that. Fortunately, that's not the case. So they ship it from Amsterdam. They also have their own framing service. You'll have to send them an email about that. It's pretty expensive though. I inquired about it and it was like 250 euros to frame it. And I was like, that's expensive, but like these shirts are really special, really unique. Maybe I want to do it. But then they gave me like their price chart and it's like 250 euros to frame it. But that's like the base fee. Then on top of that, like, you know, like I said, like the sleeves have the UEFA patches on it. It's 40 euros extra if you want the sleeves to be visible in the frame. And I'm like, what? And then it's like, I think 15 euro per picture or something if you want to have like pictures in the frame. If you want to have like a plaque in the frame, it's another 30 euros or something like that. Like it really adds up. And if you don't want to do two of them, then you're looking at like 600-700 euros on top of extra shipping costs as well. And it's like, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like I actually found a place in Belgium here that frames, and they're also pretty expensive, but not as expensive. And I actually like the way they frame their shirts a lot better. It looks a lot cooler. They have like a floating thing going on. Actually, I'm actually going to get both of these shirts framed at some point. At Just Frame It, cheap plug for them. But I'm not gonna have it done yet because, like, obviously I just bought these two shirts. I don't want to be spending ridiculous amounts of money in one go. I'll get them framed like maybe next month or the month after. I'll see. And that was also one of those things with match-worn shirts. I kind of felt like if I'm gonna get these framed, I have to do it straight away. And then it's like, you know, the money for the shirts on top of that, it all adds up. It's a lot of money. I didn't want to do that, but I highly recommend you keep an eye on matchwornshirts.com because I think, especially if they're going to release these shirts for like every game, like actually, in fact, the ones from the Frankfurt game are up right now. They're in their last 12 hours or so right now. But like the Simi one earlier, I checked, it's like 190 euros. Like I said, man, like it's 110 euros to buy a shirt from the store with his name on it for 80 euros more plus 10%. You know, you have a match worn and a signed shirt. Like it's really cool. I think if you're smart about it and if you're rich, it doesn't matter. If you have ridiculous amount of exposable income, it doesn't matter. You can go for the big shirts from the big derby wins and whatever, and you can spend 7,000 euros. That's good on you. I'm not one of those people. I'm sure a lot of the people watching aren't those types of people. I think if you're smart, you want to own a match-worn shirt and a signed shirt that is 100% genuine because it's straight from the club. You get a certificate of authenticity as well on top of that. If you want to be, because you can find signed shirts online all the time and match-worn shirts all the time. People claim it. Oh, I got it from the player. I got it from this guy. I got it from that guy. But you never know for sure. You're never 100% sure. With these shirts, you're 100% sure they're worn and they are signed. So I would recommend keep an eye on matchwornshirts.com. Add Beşiktaş to your favorites if you create an account, and actually check out if you can after the European games, especially games that don't really go our way. If they're gonna be putting them up after every European game, you know, I think Lyon is coming up. That might be a tough one. We might not get the result we want there. But that might present an opportunity for you to get a shirt from one of your favorite players for relatively cheap. Because if we win 3-0 in Lyon, yeah, you're not getting it. You're not getting any of those shirts under 400-500, you know. But if we lose, like a lot of these shirts in the Ajax game went for dirt cheap. Like I think like a Jonas Svensson shirt went for like 140 euros or something. Like, you know, that's dirt cheap it's a big word, but you know, that's cheap compared to 110 from the store. So, and for 30 euros more, you have a signed and a match-worn shirt. So I do recommend it if you are into that kind of stuff. If you are into collecting memorabilia, and definitely shirts. And then I think if you get a special one, like from Ciro, from Rafa, from Simi maybe, from one, or your favorite player, it is worth. I think it is worth paying a little bit more to have it professionally framed. but I wouldn't probably not recommend getting it at MatchWornShirts, getting it framed there, because then you're paying an arm and a leg. And it is expensive to get stuff professionally framed, don't get me wrong, but I think they add an extra 10 or 20% on top of an already premium price. So yeah, we'll see, but highly recommend you guys going for and keeping an eye on this and getting your own if you're into that kind of stuff. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in a few days, hopefully, where you have the international break now. Go check out patreon.com/Beşiktaş podcast. We actually released our VIP audio podcast earlier today. It was almost 50 minutes of me flabbing my talking a lot, as I usually tend to do. But you guys seem to not mind that. So if you want to go and support us, go to patreon.com/Beşiktaş podcast. You know what? At some point, maybe we'll even see about giving away one of these shirts at some point. If we get enough Patreons, I think that's definitely something we could do, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you again next time. Bye-bye.